radio stream. It's a beautiful day here in Vancouver. Beautiful, beautiful day. Went to the shop in Gastown called Old Faithful. They just have beautiful products there. This is the one. They had this one lamp that I was like, man, I love this thing. This stuff is so expensive. Oh my goodness. But these cast iron pots, very neat. Yeah, I love this store. Anyways. I picked up this book. I had a real mindfulness kick at one point. I think it got to a point where I was like, I don't know if this is the purpose. Read a book that had some prompts for self-reflection. This one's called Moonless by Lee Patterson. Questions and rituals for self-reflection. So, just gonna peel through it, see what comes up, and listen to some tunes. I think that the VOD for this will be super lame and you won't be able to hear anything. But what's the command for this? She must provide at least one URL. Okay.
Before we start this next one, let's all look around. Look around, don't look at me, look around. We're all here together, no? Yes, no? Are we here together? Okay. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?
Game time.
What time is it? What time is it?
Time to die.
What time is it?
Now.
I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Oh, that was. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Yeah, subscribe. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Whatever that was. Um, La, 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 la. And that's gospel thing was crazy. That sounded so good. La, la, is it gone? No, surely.
Loving you, holding the rose of my love. Silence in gardens of beauty, but oh, winter pierced the bud of my love. You had turned from me, and paper tulips grew. Dying, I lay my heart for you to take or leave. All alone, I stand a strange and desert land. All the trees I knew had broken, sighing, my heart dying for love. But you paper tulips grew in the garden of your heart, crying, my arms reaching out for your kiss, knowing that you'd turned away. So I stand only watching you. Nothing grew, God alone can know that I still love you so. Silent, I keep the rose of my own perfect love in my heart. I pray that some calm sunny day love may blossom in your garden. Colors will surround us, and love will grow and melt the winter snow with the sunshine of your smile. Loving me, holding so tender, no rose, glowing and perfect in splendor. But oh, the cold has pierced the bud of my love. You had turned from me, and paper tulips grew. Dying, I lay my heart for you to take or leave. All alone, take or leave alone. Leave all alone. Leave all Hold me close, never let me go. Wrap your arms around me tonight. 'Cause it's cold out.
I always do this. I download it to my room.
Am I near to you, please, baby? Honey, I need you. And I know that you need me too. 'Cause it's cold out tonight. While I'm so warm in your arms, in your arms, in your arms. It's cold out tonight. While I'm so warm in your arms, in your arms, in your Honey, I'm in love with you. And I know that you love me too. 'Cause it's cold out tonight. While I'm so warm in your arms, in your arms, in your arms. It's cold out tonight. While I'm so warm in your arms, in your
What is this response? It sounds like you're making some exciting progress for your class or for your consolidated plan. This is the most outrageous response I've ever gotten from ChatGPT.
Thank you for being here tonight. You're so wonderful. I'm so in love with you. And I know you love me too.
Well, actually, I'm just in my root folder on my MacBook, so I guess maybe it's not Git. Um, oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. But it's so cold out tonight. In your, in your. And the other one was called Heaven. That's the one that I really was like, damn, that was pretty sick. That one's gonna take a while though. Destination der Partisanen. Destination der Partisanen. get it from my mom. Impatient with the action, I could barely get around. Anyways. Na, 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 na. It's gonna sound like Bon Iver. abstract once. I got fast back thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. I'm just a point of view. How the fuck could I be lost? I never smoked no rocks. I got abstract once. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. I'm just a point of view. How the fuck could I be lost? I got abstract once. I got fast in a view. I got abstract once. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. I'm just a point of view. How the fuck could I be lost? I never smoked no rocks. I got abstract once. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. I'm just a point of view. How the fuck could I be lost? I never smoked no rocks. I got abstract once. I got abstract once. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Yeah, I'm floating on this fucking big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin. Cosmos connect. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Yeah, I'm floating on this fucking big ass rock. It's the daily vitamins. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Yeah, I'm floating on this fucking big ass rock. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? I'm floating on this big ass fucking rock. Daily vitamins. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? I'm floating on this big ass fucking rock. It's the daily vitamins. I got abstract ones. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Yeah, I'm floating on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin. I got abstract ones. I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Yeah, I'm floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamins. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamins. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamins. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamins. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamins. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. The Daily Vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. Yeah, let's rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. It's the Daily Vitamin. Yes. Let's rock. cosmos connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin, man. Let's rock.
What we're doing for next and what we're doing for next year is first-party data. So we want to connect to, we're about to release something where you can connect to Segment, so we can take kind of all of your product analytics. We'll connect to your billing data. We'll connect to your marketing website visits. We'll connect to your Gong calls, your emails. So there's all the information that you have as a company, and then help you use that information to reach out to the right people and say the right things, the value prop that you're offering. That's going to be a very big task, and there's so many ways in which this can manifest. So you were talking earlier about our ambition. Our ambition is to be the singular place that you come to for any growth idea. And what that could look like is, imagine that you're building a new product onboarding experience. Well, why shouldn't that be personalized using Clay? Why shouldn't there be a bot on your website that's helping your customers book even some of the meetings using Clay and having a personalized experience around that? So we are very much thinking about the full spectrum of things that can be done to help you grow your company. And we will be building products in each of those categories.
Are you comfortable talking about how big the company is, how many employees, how many customers you have, how much revenue you have, and how you charge?
We've posted a couple of things publicly around this. I'll talk about some of the public things. But we, the company is about 75 full-time people now. We have over 4,500 customers. We have, probably around 100,000 users from those customers. And we've never really talked about our ARR directly, but I think the information had a list of top 50 startups where we were there, and they kind of estimated our ARR, and I think they said it was above 20 million. And that's kind of in the range of truth.
I'd like to take it all the way back to the beginning when you started the company in 2017. Did you expect to be where you are today?
Well, it took us a lot longer than I expected.
Take us through the circuitous route to get here, because the vision did change. And
Right. It was quite circuitous. But so we started off with the ambition. It was a very broad ambition and abstract of giving the power of programming to an order of magnitude more people. And we thought about the different metaphors that people would understand to do programming. One obvious one is kind of like a workflow editor. Another one is a spreadsheet. We realized quickly that a spreadsheet is the world's most popular programming environment. And as soon as we kind of built the spreadsheet, we realized that one of the things that people do in spreadsheets quite often in businesses is build lists of people and companies that they are trying to reach out to. So we actually had the idea for what Clay would become pretty early on. And so it wasn't something that we stumbled upon or that we discovered. We kind of reached it through analysis. And then my co-founder started doing some prospecting to find his customers. And he was like, this is very complicated. There's so many steps. We can definitely help with what we've built here. And so all of that was actually something that we came to quite early. The process of committing to building that was more circuitous. And it's actually where we stayed for a long time. I almost think of it as, if you've ever played a video game and there's the fog of war and the map wasn't kind of fully visualized, and we kind of walked around the whole map, saw all the different kind of things that we could do, and then returned to like the right location. So for us, the decision to commit to building for go-to-market people was really around figuring out, why are we the people to do this, right? I did not start in sales or marketing, and I think a lot of go-to-market tech is started by people who saw the problem firsthand. We came about it as a way of removing kind of repetitive work. And you mentioned before that I like producing music, but I really like tools like Ableton Live that are components that you connect together to produce music. And I really like the idea of giving that power to more people. And so that's kind of how we came about with how we came to kind of the idea of being creative and giving the power of programming so that you can be creative within the field of go-to-market teams. Yeah.
But would you have done anything different looking back now? Now that you understand it was a bit circuitous, could you have changed any of the things along the way, or it was a process that you... Needed to go through?
I think it was a process that I needed to go through specifically. So I don't think that it couldn't be done faster by someone else. I think it took me and the team time to see the power of what we've built, to hear from a lot of the agencies that you talked about were actually power users initially, and we didn't focus on them. We kept the tool very broad. And I also needed to develop the muscle of how to focus. And I think a lot of people talk about focusing, but then the embodied kind of understanding of what focusing means and how often you have to say no, and how many times you see distractions and think that they're the right path, but they are distractions. And so going through a couple of cycles of those helped me understand how to focus. And so when we committed, we really committed. And as soon as we launched the product, it immediately resonated with customers because we removed all the language around it being broad and focused it just on go-to-market, which is still a huge kind of area. We're talking about sales, marketing, and customer success. That's half of a company. And so that was enough. And I think
that was enough. Half the company is enough.
Half the company is enough for now. But once I learned the how to focus, and once I committed to the mission of helping companies grow, we then kind of use the underlying intention of giving the power of programming to be very, very different than every other tool in the market. So we've made a lot of choices that are unorthodox, right? A lot of go-to-market tools are built to be, press one button and get leads, and then maybe AI SDRs press, connect a few things. Don't worry about it; it's working in the background. Whereas we ask people to invest time, and we ask them to learn how to use our product and to learn how to do growth. Now, of course, some of that could be simplified, but really we're asking for you to kind of be a partner with us, and we've designed the tool to have a very, very high ceiling. So, like Photoshop or Figma or, Ableton Live, you can continue to improve your craft in Clay and learn things and do things that no one has done before. And so that's what I think makes us different in the market. And that was part of the path. It's basically the remnants of the path that brought us to this point.
You mentioned something that I find interesting because you had this process that you had to go through. And I think when you started the company, you were a perfect founder problem fit, founder market fit for bringing the power of programming to the masses. How did you so go through that process? What was the turning point where you said, hey, I'm the right founder for building a creative tool for go-to-market?
I held on to the initial intention, and you can see it throughout. So there's no product that looks like Clay because of that initial intention. And what I realized is and you can kind of argue whether this is mental jujitsu or the truth, but I held on to that initial intention. And through that, I believe that actually go-to-market teams are doing a lot of work that could be done programmatically if you only knew how to program, and that there was a large number of people who wanted to do things that their mind could be open to the things that they could do if only they knew what was possible, and that giving them and like this group of people the power of programming is actually kind of a realization of that initial vision. And keeping that word creative, really, you could think of it as creativity, or you could think of it as maximum flexibility, which is what I wanted to empower people with, so that they can turn any idea they have into reality. And so this is a good starting point for that very, very large vision.
Thank you for taking us through your journey, and congratulations on all the recent success. And I think, when we sort of look at all the sort of landscape in AI, there's a lot of talk around technology and foundation models and what's next in that space. But I think you've built one of the most interesting AI applications that the world has seen, and you're revolutionizing the way that sales is done. So thank you for sharing your journey with us, and also for allowing Sequoia to be an early shareholder of the company.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we partnered early, and I really appreciate this, Alfred.
Let's wrap up with a few of our standard questions. What's your favorite startup other than your own?
That's a really great question. I think
It's our sourcing list.
yeah. I really like Suno, actually. That makes sense because I like I've met the founder, and I really like being able to generate music. It's very much aligned, with the creativity. So yeah.
Any other?
I've met the founder, and
It's our sourcing list.
yeah. I really like Suno, actually. That makes sense because I like I've met the founder, and I really like being able to generate music. It's
cheap wine. Na na na, na na na, na na na, na na na. I just packed my bag, left you so slowly. Oh, I'm tracing stories with the broken maps. Escúchenme bien, latinos.
There's a light on in the kitchen and a cold beer in the fridge. One light over the front door shining on the welcome mat. The stars are bright, they look close enough to touch. The fireflies are out tonight, so let them light the way. 'Cause there's a house, a country house. And when I find
Hey. Need them.
Let's try to do some what's it called? Like the peer responses.
I think it was that.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Taking other people's listening.
Made a little rap. You want to hear it?
Like, yes.
Okay.
We clean those dirty you see you wipe it.
I'll just do
Oh, it's
this.
so cold. Can I steal it? I was like shaking on the way down. Shake it, shake, shake.
I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock.
You, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Can you have the heater? Yeah, you can have it.
Funny. Yeah, no, it's good. I like that.
I got abstract. I got fat stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. Are you think you're gonna be working for quite a bit longer? Yeah, I kind of want to wind down.
Like go to sleep or wind down. I was like, so we could always watch a little movie. There's
Yeah.
a little penguin over to the tree that out.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't that sound right?
It does sound great.
I might have a little snack then, so I can wrap up, have
Yeah.
a snack,
Okay.
and then meet you upstairs.
Cool.
I was like
Super.
yawn.
You're gonna sit. Well, I am on stream. but you can sit down for sure. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamins.
What part?
Well, cause I was like, I'm chilling in space on a big rock. Yeah. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. I think you could make this for like, I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. But I said here, I was like, chilling and floating on this big rock. Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin. Let's rock. Point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Floating on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin. I got abstract wants, I got fast stack thoughts. Looking at the cosmos, connecting all the dots. If I'm just a point of view, how the fuck could I be lost? Chilling out in space on this big ass rock. It's the daily vitamin, and let's rock. Vitamins, let's rock.
Yeah, that's actually kind of.
Let's rock.
Yeah.
Come on in here. Come closer. Let's figure this out. Alright. Alright. I'll see you.
That
shortly.
kind of pulled back right there. I'm
Hmm?
fine. It's just pop me.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Alright. I'll see you shortly. Bye bye. Dude, you know what's so crazy? I'm listening to this interview of the CEO of Clay, and he uses Ableton.
Able to?
Yeah, like this software that I used to make music. Yeah. I was like, what? Sick, dude. I was like, man, because I'm pretty sure part of the interview process, like the last interview part, is that you talk with one of the co-founders. And I'm like, dude, if I talk to him, I'm definitely gonna be like, hey, I'd love to talk, but can we talk about Ableton first?
First?
Yeah.
Why? What would you want to discuss about?
Well, I mean, Ableton's just a cool program, but I'd love to know like what kind of music do you make?
Oh.
You use Ableton? Okay. Tell me about that. That's pretty cool. Do you put it out? To any of your mine? Have you heard mine? Have you seen my YouTube, bro? But yeah, I actually like the way he speaks a lot. He described the culture of the place. He's like, we're like chill overachievers.
Oh, okay.
Like, cool. And he's like, a big thing for him is this idea of unlocking the power of programming for people that don't know how to program within like sales and go-to-market stuff. Which I'm like, yeah, dude, totally, you know,
Yeah, dude, totally.
totally, man.
You sound like a thing.
Well, he said this one thing that literally I was like, man, I had this thought so many years ago, where he's like, what was it? I think I wrote it down somewhere. Clay founder interview. How do we give the power of engineering and programming to more people? Partially because we're hard people and engineers. In 21st century, if we can get machines to do what you want, you have leverage to create value and wealth. I'm like, yep, true. Uh, oh yeah, this part where like this particular thing really related to me because I was like, after I co-founded that startup and kind of failed, the feeling I had was kind of like, man, I think you can either build things or sell them. And I was like, I need to learn how to build them, or else I'll kind of be at the mercy of the people that
Yeah,
that are
yourself.
building it for me. Not that I necessarily think that I'm like the most talented engineer, but like I can at least participate in those conversations. And if you don't know how to program, like a lot of these ideas can actually be stuck in your head, which I don't know how much longer that'll be the case because programming is becoming AI-ified. But yeah, that was kind of like when he said it, I was like, dude, that's literally the thought I had years ago. So, anyways, I yeah, I really hope I get the chance to speak with him.
Well, yeah. What's going on with it? You submitted? Why not?
Because
Weren't you gonna do that the other day when I called you and Edmund?
yeah, believe me, I was thinking about it. The issue is that there's like these two questions that are just blank, kind of like additional info. How did you hear about us? I'm like, oh well, I want to make sure I write something that's like captures what I'm saying. And yeah, I don't think that that's like a good enough answer. Like I'm not like proud that I haven't, applied yet, but I feel like primarily I'm just trying to learn more about the company before I write that. So I don't think it'll like hurt me. I mean, if it does, then that's just how things shake out. But I told Sig earlier because I was talking about it. It's like, yeah, I'm committed to applying before the end of this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll message Adam, and hopefully she can put in her recommendation like she offered, which would be cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully the process and stuff.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go have a snack. We will meet up shortly.
Yeah. But I'm on stream. You're on
You
camera.
think you're there?
Probably. I don't know.
Is everything we've talked about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I was in the camera thing. Also, was turned around.
You were, yeah. I'm sure it's fine. Nobody watches these. Oh, another thing, he talked about a few things that I really like, but chill high achievers, which I was like, I love that. He's talking about like this idea of like them. He's like, what's really important in our company is like clarity of mind, and he's like, like we approach things from this perspective, like, acknowledge something is a case, but don't like react to it. It sounds like gather information so that you know what to do with the information, but like you kind of cast that wide net, and once you collect all that information, then you make good decisions based on that. And I was just listening. I was like, I fuck with this guy. And the last one they said that, I was like, dude, I love that, and that totally aligns. But he talked about like one of their values is like the idea of being negative maintenance. And the guy's like, okay. And it's like, like high maintenance, if somebody's high maintenance, it's like you kind of got to do these things for them. And like a low maintenance person, like, oh, I don't really have to worry about them. Like pretty low maintenance. He's like, but negative maintenance is like, this is like the people that do things for you. You know what I mean? Like negative maintenance. I was like, dude, that's fire. Because I mean, I've said this to you before, but I'm like, I want to like uh, give more energy than I take, and like I want to create more than I consume. And I was like, dude, that's negative maintenance. Just like this, I'm like, this could be the company. This could be the one.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, I'll see you shortly.
It's very much aligned, the creativity. So yeah.
Any others, or just that one?
Another company that maybe I admire because I really like the approach that they're taking is Linear. They're just very thoughtful about how they approach building products. So yeah,
Creative tools.
creative tools.
All right. What's your favorite AI app that's on your phone?
Oh, AI app on my phone.
Yeah.
Um,
It could be a standard AI app, but if it must be on your phone if you love it that much.
that's a good one. I was gonna say Cursor actually because I've been trying to write a little bit of code on some hackathon products.
That
but
works. That's an AI app.
Yeah.
Anything on your phone that you want to share?
On my phone, I've just been having lots and lots of conversations with ChatGPT as everybody else is doing, I think.
On other markets you think of that AI can disrupt, whether in the short term, medium term, or long term?
I've been talking to a bunch of friends around like expert network kind of interviews, and I'm kind of curious about that because it's I think that people there's a lot of work that's being done where people are trying to collect information and it's pretty repetitive, but it's almost like Gong, but not for sales calls, for like expert networks and collecting information from people, like what are the top problems in your company, what are top issues, and then being able to analyze that. I think that's an interesting underserved market with like old incumbents.
What's your advice for other startup founders?
I think the alignment piece sounds like wishy-washy or not very concrete, but I think it's a key element. So you need to, we talked about knowing where you are on the spectrum of a couple of things, right? Is this a product that is sales-led or product-led? Is this a product that every feature needs to work perfectly, or you need to ship things as quickly as possible and then perfect them? And tie all of that back to what is your ambition? Why do you care about this product or mission? When you're spending so much time working on it, you really need to have that connection. Otherwise, I guess maybe to say something kind of like new that isn't often said, I think you need to have your own internal compass. Otherwise, you will get lost. And if you are lying to yourself, I think this is something that I think about a lot. I think the cost of lying isn't anything that'll happen bad. Maybe no one will catch you on the lie. Maybe you won't go to hell. But the cost of lying is actually disassociation from yourself. And when you lie about anything, in particular to yourself, you lose your ability to navigate through your feelings. And so you don't have an internal compass. You don't know what's good. You don't know what's real. You're just doing things, maybe even things that you think are good, but you won't actually know if they work or not unless you take real risks and you're honest about your ambition and why you're doing things.
I love that. Having a real internal compass. In the fog of war, sometimes your compass is not clear to you. How do you seem like a very thoughtful person every time I talk to you. Like, how do you sort of get the clarity?
Yeah, I think the clarity is through being honest and then taking real risks. And so what I found is that in the past, I've taken risks that have been hedged, or you might think it's a risk. Let's say I'm building a feature, and or even like taking a direction of the company where I'm like, let's do go-to-market tools, right? But if I don't actually, if I think, well, I'm kind of doing it because a couple of people have told me that this makes sense and here's how it works, and I should do this. As soon as you hear the word "I should," right, you know that it's not really what you're thinking. And then if it fails, you don't really know, you don't have a felt sense of like whether it might be not your honest opinion. So you're like, well, it failed. It wasn't my honest opinion. I didn't take a real risk. Let's do something else. And if it succeeds, you don't really know why it succeeded. But for me, what I've done is take real risks where I don't know what the results are going to be. That's how I know it's a real risk, is that I actually don't know. And I'm okay with failing. And you have to be okay with failing publicly and acknowledging that. That's when you know it's a real risk. And that's how you kind of build up that internal compass and navigate like a fog of war.
That's great. That's really great advice. Final question, and very open-ended, long-term focused, enduring focused. What do you think the best possible thing that can happen with AI in the coming decade?
I think the best possible thing would be there's obviously like an amazing set of applications that could be done with AI, but I'd have to say that it would be recursive AI, right? So like AI that can improve itself. That would be the dream, right? An AI that actually can help improve itself and accelerate itself. And that should lead to lots of other developments across the board. Otherwise, we'll get stuck in whatever local maxima we get to with the current kind of set of techniques.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on all your success, and thank you for being so generous with your time and coming on to Training Data.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Alvin.
Thank you.
Dope interview. Damn. I'm gonna listen to that again. I know that for sure.
I'm here with Kareem Amin, the CEO of Clay, #1 mid-stage company on the Enterprise 30 list that we did with Wing. And so this is our second video after talking to Paul Klein, the browser-based CEO, digging into companies that are now thrust on my radar, where I'm like, oh, I want to know everything about what you guys are doing. Kareem and I were on a panel the other day at NASDAQ celebrating the Wing 30 list, and happy to have you on the podcast. Hey, Kareem.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric.
Great. Well, yeah. So I think we sort of want to get to like how did you get to #1 on the mid-stage list, and then where you're going. The best place to start is how is Clay founded? And I think you guys have been at this a while. Yeah, tell me about the early days.
Yeah, so we started over maybe just 7 years ago. The motivating idea was, how do we give the power of programming to an order of magnitude more people? So we were very much in this continuation of the idea of how do you make programming accessible. And the reason we wanted to do that is that we knew that if you could essentially have that power, you would be able to level up kind of like the type of work that you're doing, and just have access to capturing a lot more of that value. And we were anticipating that there will be more and more kind of like AI set of features that would automate work. Obviously, we were not kind of like seeing that LLMs would be
What year was Clay founded?
2017. Yeah.
And who was the first customer type?
Great question. I think when you look back at it, yeah, you do need to have a clear customer, and you need to have all of like who's your TAM and all of that stuff. But I don't think that most people, I think that's just one way of like articulating your idea. Like, we started off from, what is it that we want to have in the world? And then we thought, okay, well, if we want to give the power of programming to more people, do we want to give it to engineers and make them a lot faster? Or do we want to give it to non-engineers? And we started kind of exploring to see like what is possible. At that time, there was already things called programming by example. So in Excel, I haven't talked about this actually before, but you could go in and let's say that you had like a phone number and some of it was missing the brackets around the first 3 digits. You could add it and you show kind of Excel like, okay, you add it once and it can add it to all of them. But sometimes it would add a double bracket. So you go delete that one. And now it learns, okay, if there's a double bracket, don't do that. And so we started to say, okay, there's going to be more and more ways to program by example, to program by showing the machine what you want. And we were kind of exploring like, what's possible today? We eventually decided that actually it's much more powerful to give it to non-engineers. And we started thinking about like, what are the metaphors that people understand, and decided, okay, the spreadsheet's the world's most popular programming environment, and Google made it collaborative so many people could work on it at the same time. But the next step was to make it connected to all of the internet's data. And so that's kind of like how we came to Clay, because once we did.
All right. Started with, what do we want to see in the world? How can we give what was the thing that I just heard that I was like, I like that? Oh. It is cold up here without that.
Did that, we were like, well, who is going to use this? And there could be financial analysts, or there could be people building lists. When we looked at people building lists, it was recruiters, salespeople, marketers, customer success people. And so we decided to focus it on go-to-market teams. So I think at the end of the day, you need to focus it on who you're selling it to get the product going, to build the business. But it's ultimately in service of this bigger goal.
And so this is the core customer action, so that people just understand. Like, if I'm going to use the product, the way that most people use it, first off, is what?
The core customer action is you want to grow your business, right? And to grow your business, you need to build a list of potential new customers or existing customers that you want to reach out to. And you need to figure out what property predict that someone's going to be a good customer. So Clay allows you or existing customers that you want to reach out to, and you need to figure out what properties predict that someone's going to be a good customer. So Clay allows you or existing customers that you want to reach out to, and you need to figure out what properties predict that someone's going to be a good customer. So Clay allows you to you want to reach out to, and you need to figure out what properties predict that someone's going to be a good customer. So Clay allows you to aggregate all the data sources on the internet to build a list of potential customers that you want to message. Using those data points, you can figure out what you're going to say to them. So let's say you find all the people on the internet who don't have SOC 2 compliance but are SaaS companies that have been built, and you sell a SOC 2 compliance product. That's a perfect moment for you to build a list of potential customers that you want to message. Using those data points, you can figure out what you're going to say to them. So let's say you find all the people on the internet who don't have SOC 2 compliance but are SaaS companies that have been built, and you sell a SOC 2 compliance product. That's a perfect moment for you to reach out to them.
So was that possible pre-LLM, or how much of the product really existed before sort of the model explosion?
Yeah, it was totally possible pre-LLMs. There were all these different data providers that scrape data from the web and packaged it. What was difficult, so that's what we did first, was say, okay, like why use one data provider when you can use all of them? And it depends on what you're looking for, which data you need, and makes it easier for you to work with that data to build a list. What LLMs made it possible to do was to then also get unique data properties that no data provider kind of had. So let's say you want to say, I want to find all companies that have remote offices in South America, right? And maybe that information you could kind of extract from existing data providers, but it would take a lot of work. You'd have to say, okay, do they have an office in South America and an office outside, and where's the headquarters? And that means that they have a remote office in South America.
So it extracted a lot more value out of these data sets that you've gotten together because there's
exactly
more logic and sort of pulling out
right
pieces.
Yeah, and you could do more real-time things, right? So you could say, check if this company has the logos of some of our current existing customers, right? So you can do things that maybe you have humans, SDRs, normally do.
Do customers pay to use all the different data sources, or you just license it yourself and it's abstracted away from them, or how much interaction do they have with?
Yeah, we have an interesting model here. So basically you can use most of the data sources using Clay credits, right? Because we have licenses with them. If you already have a contract or agreement with a data provider, you can just use your API key in Clay, and it's free to do so. So our idea is very much a collaboration with data providers. We focus on a segment of the market that they don't normally have the resources to sell to, and some of the data providers are smaller, and they have really high quality data, but they just don't have the full UI or go-to-market team to sell it. So, and the other thing is, once a customer grows big enough, we prefer that they actually have a connection to the data provider, and they have a direct kind of like contract and API key with them. Our belief is that, yeah, we don't necessarily make the money off of selling the data. It's how you make use of the data to create a campaign that we think is like where we provide value.
Yeah, and then on sort of the content generation side and sort of the outreach scheduling, how much are humans in the loop, or like how much is it sort of still a human firing off emails versus setting all these triggers, or how do you think about that?
The way we think about it is humans are there to come up with the ideas, like which triggers, when, how often, to whom. We just facilitate doing all that work. So the way to think about Clay is like, if Figma is for designers, Clay is for go-to-market teams. You're still involved, but it's a creative tool that allows you to express your idea quickly. We don't necessarily believe that there is one solution that fits all, or that there's like one magic button that you should turn on and let it go. You have to constantly be iterating on what are the guesses that you think makes a good customer and what predicts that. What should you be saying to them? Your products are changing, their products and their needs are changing, so you need to stay up to date. And you also need to stand out from the crowd.
Does this only work if it's like, oh, I can sort of A/B test my customers and there's a huge universe? Like if I have a business where I'm sort of like whale hunting, is AI as useful where it makes sense to focus a lot of energy on particular?
Right, because it's not just for outbound, right? Clay is letting you build, let's say, a deep research dossier about this customer, right? You might want to figure out, who are how many people have they hired in a particular department? What is their organizational structure? What have they been publishing lately? When you can look at their financial statements if they're public. So what are their actions online? What are they doing on social? You can like do social listening, and you don't have to send them a message. You could send all of that information to your own team. The other thing is that, I think of outbound as similar to advertising. So Coca-Cola still advertises. You need to have it on your mind. So you need multiple touch points for someone to know who you are and why you matter. So and even example, I think in Clay isn't just to be used to find new customers. It's also to expand your existing customers. So imagine that you're Figma, you release this new like product dev mode, and maybe you reach out to all of your customers who have a lot of designers, but none of the engineers have onboarded, and you figure out who their head of engineering is, and you message them and say, hey, your designers are building a lot in Figma. Should your developers be using it too?
Do you send the actual email through Clay?
And so we basically connect to a bunch of third parties to send an email, but we have an interface that allows you to draft it and figure out what you're doing. And the reason we stay kind of separated from the channels is that people do all kinds of things with Clay. So there are companies that send physical mail with Clay, that send gifts, personalized gifts, that have created personalized websites. So people created personalized ads. So we're kind of agnostic about where the end channel is.
You've obviously been intentional about the product. Besides sort of coming up with a great feature set, like what explains your like explosive growth at the moment, or what would you point to that's sort of like really clicking for Clay and why you're having this moment where investors are so excited about what you're doing?
I think investors are excited because they see kind of the potential that is made possible through Clay. So every company needs to grow, right? And there are only three ways to grow. You either find new customers, you convert existing ones, or you expand existing ones. Clay helps with all three, right? But we found a particular kind of gap in the market, which is that most tools in go-to-market want to sell you a solution that helps you automatically grow your company. It's sold to reps or people who are on the front line and lets them kind of pull a list quickly and send some messages. Whereas what Clay does is it assumes that there is a new type of role, RevOps, growth marketing. We call them go-to-market engineers, and we think that AI has actually enabled this new role that's going to be really well paid and really expansive. That is a more technical person that can take on that job and can 10x the whole team. And you don't need to A/B test things, right? It doesn't have to be that scientific. It's mostly like you have an idea, we can turn it into reality quickly. And so I think we're the first creative tool in the go-to-market space that actually allows you to speed up any idea to reality, and you can apply that for sales or for marketing or customer success. So the TAM is huge, and people are making a lot of money using Clay and also getting promoted using Clay. So that's why customers like it.
If you get this tool, you're gonna get a promotion. On the flip side, is it hard to get a company to embrace a new tool when you say, oh, you need really to rethink what employees you have if you have Clay, or like, and that's normally it's like we want to meet you where you are so that you're excited.
We meet you where you are, right? Like the role already exists. It's called RevOps. I think it's just evolving. Also, advanced AEs or SDRs can pick it up. So it's basically you start off where you are, and then you can essentially parlay it into this job once you prove that it's working. So we tend to kind of meet people where they are, and then they quickly find that they're getting results, and then it transforms into. And don't forget that this is a particular moment where people are willing to experiment because they're like, what is our go-to-market strategy with AI? And the answer is you should be using Clay.
What can you say about number of customers, size of the business, employees, whatever snapshot you can give?
Right. So the last public numbers that we gave out were in the Forbes article when we announced our raise at 1.25 billion, and we had 5,000 customers and over 30 million ARR. And we've grown substantially since then. The jobs question. I mean, do you have an intuition on whether AI is going to reduce the number of jobs, or from your sector, like maybe sort of 10xing or more the capacity of an employee? Does that sort of imply fewer employees, or how do you think about that? My current sense is very much embodied in like things that are like previous technologies that we've encountered. So, when you build more roads, you just get more cars. I think that our system is set up to, regardless of the efficiency gains, to do more. So let's say we get more efficiency gains. Well, we're just going to want to try to grow faster. We're not going to say, okay, great, now we can grow as fast as we did with fewer people. I think some people will do that. And hence you have a lot of people coming out saying, oh, we're going to build like, 10-person company with like 10 million per employee. And maybe you're satisfied with that. But I think there's going to always be competition at the top for markets where winner takes all, where you will try to do more. So I don't think that you will have fewer people. I think you will have more productive people in certain elements of the business, and you'll find new areas where things weren't doable before, weren't worthwhile. The other thing is, I think a lot of the current predictions are predicated on LLMs becoming 1 to 2 orders of magnitude better. And I think that is different, right? If it becomes 2 orders of magnitude better, I do think many of the jobs will become less needed, but I'm not totally sure. I don't have an intuition on where we are towards that. Do you spend a lot of time as the CEO of a very forward-thinking AI application company gaming out like AGI strategy, or so much of the business is like new model comes out, figure out how to make use of it, and we react to when they come? Or like how much is there sort of like war gaming going on inside Clay about what the capacity is going to be? I think, what I've told the team in general is 95% of your time should be executing, 10% meta reflecting on anything. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. And so we're focused on delivering with what we have now. There's already a lot. And 10% of the time we think about the future and what are the possible kind of options, but regardless of what the options are, we will be in a better place the more successful we are right now. Right. Yeah. To make a decision. How do you think about, So I use Superhuman a lot. Yeah. Different products. Interested in using Clay. Every sales product, or could be a reporter tool, and obviously we have customers too now. But Superhuman or email providers, it can feel a little bit like you're fueling a war on both sides, where it's like you're making it easier to email people, but you're also making it easier to like then filter out sort of the emails. Right. How do you think about it with your product? I mean, you're more focused on arming sort of one side of the equation, but do you think, oh, there's just going to be another AI company on the other end that's making filtering out all this like emails that I'm going to receive? Yeah. But I think I mean, I love Superhuman and Rahul. I think they've done a great job. I think that have you ever heard of the idea of the Red Queen? I think I have. It's been a while. I feel like it came up in Uber context. Right. I think the author was Matt Ridley. The idea is that the Red Queen keeps running and stays in the same place, right? So, and I think it was about viruses and like human genomes, and like you're constantly changing and meeting it. So there's always this cat and mouse game. I think it just depends on how you approach it, right? So we are not thinking about how do we give people the power to send more messages. Quite the opposite. We think that you should be doing deeper research ahead of time, send fewer messages, do it over time, right? You don't want to blast your whole TAM or all of your customers. You don't even know if it's going to work. So you should pick smaller segments that are deeply researched, spend the time deeply researching them, and then send a more worthwhile message. We just help you do that at a scale where it becomes feasible, and we give you the tools to do that. That's why we don't own kind of like the messaging channel, because we don't know what you're going to send, and we're not responsible for that. If your product sucks, your message won't work, regardless of who you target and what you say. So that's also information, right? And that information is helpful. I think it doesn't make sense to claim that we will help you grow regardless, because what you're selling might not be worth growing. And if there are good customers out there that fit, we'll help you find them, but we can't promise. Right. We'll help you figure out how to go about doing that. And so I think we're much more aligned actually with customers and people sending messages that are worthwhile. And we try to guide people to use us in this way, because by the way, if you don't use this correctly, you're the one who's going to get banned, not us. Get banned just by like email providers if you're sending too many. By email providers, yeah, exactly. Or like by ad message messages, or you're the one who's not going to get the results. And
Right.
so, yeah, I think that's a key element of it.
Can you walk me through just like one of the most interesting customer case studies?
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple. I won't name the names right now, but some of the case studies are on our website. But I want to tell you a couple of them that we don't have on the website
Sure.
that I think are great. One company actually sent us a message where they started looking at our status page and seeing whenever our product was down or had issues. And then they were a DevOps tool, and they would see what we said was the issue, and they'd be like, "Well, if you were using us, you wouldn't be down, and here's why." And it was very effective. I read it, and so I thought that was a pretty creative way of like there are no data sets that look at status pages, but they used our AI agent to monitor us.
Huh.
There's another company that is looking at
To double click on that, like they built a tool or like how?
No, so they used Clay as AI agent to look at our own status page and monitor it to see whenever we said that we were down, looked at the reason that we were down, matched it to one of the products that they could sell to us, and then sent us a message.
It
"You were
has a
down."
tool that sort of triggers when websites are down in real time, or
No, that's the beautiful thing. We have an AI agent that you can program to do whatever you want, including look at our status page.
Interesting.
Right. So what's great is that we don't need to have a tool for every possible use case. Actually, customers discover new use cases.
But are they then they're hosting a tool they built on Clay, or that becomes a tool that all Clay customers can use? Or?
No. It's just they told the AI agent to go look at our status page and then message us when there's an issue and tie it to their products. We can then take that use case and make it more templated for everybody
Right.
else.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can choose to do, but we don't have a marketplace where you can then sell that strategy.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. That's a super interesting one.
Yeah. There's another one that I think is pretty cool where company has a way of kind of doing brand normalization. So it's just like, is your brand the same in every channel that you're using it? So they use Clay to look at like a company's brand identity. Then they look at all the social channels that they send messages through. And whenever they see a discrepancy, they message the company and say, "Hey, you just tweeted out something that doesn't match your brand identity. You could have been using our tool to have brand consistency."
Interesting.
So these are very unique go-to-market strategies.
Right.
And what's amazing about this is that it's very custom to your company, but the tools that you need to do that are not custom. They're the Clay primitives, and that's obviously why we're called Clay, because you can build different things with it.
Right.
The same way that every website could look completely different, but you can still build it in Figma.
Do you allow customers like how much? This is going to reveal how non-technical I am, but like direct like API access, or like I feel like one trend in the AI world is like we're only an API business, and you could sort of flow through us without really interacting with our interface. It sounds like what you're describing though is the opposite, where it's like we have a great interface, you'd want to go through Clay. Or how do you think about the rise of these sort of API first businesses?
Right now we don't have a public API for you to do that. Sometimes we work with companies to enable that, but I think it depends who the customer is, right? Is the customer an engineer or is the customer not engineer? And so we believe that the more features we make in our UI, the faster you can build some of these things without needing an engineer. And then there's obviously also room for engineers to use some of the capabilities that Clay has by API to build things themselves. That's something that we'll be looking at in the future.
I want to ask you a couple questions about sort of AI applications broadly and where things are headed. Any, I guess, last words on Clay, or like where you'd like to be in sort of 2 years, or any other reflections that I haven't covered on your business before I ask you to play pundit for a second?
I think that the thing that's so exciting about Clay is that we have this really large community. So there's over 20,000 people in our Slack channel. There's clubs in over 40 cities. We just opened out a funding round, a community funding round that was basically allowed our own community to invest, because we're getting ideas from the community so that they should share our ability to grow. But I think we've created this new go-to-market engineer role that is a really like powerful persona where you're able to kind of control all of like the third-party data that you can find on the internet about a company, and then your own first-party data. So like, let's say some.
Dude, this guy seems like a G. Well, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now, though, guys. I'm gonna watch a movie. That's how it's late, 12 a.m. or midnight.